Hey guys, so we're going to be talking about the quadratic formula. We've been thinking about it, for like the last day or so. And this is going to be your life changer. And for most of you, this is going to become your favorite. So I want you to just keep calm and use the quadratic formula. When you're using this, you need to make sure that you know your A, B, and C values when they're in standard form. So I want you to fill in the rest. It's going to be standard form. It must be in this form, and the quadratic formula is used to find the solutions. When we are finding the solutions, you need to make sure that whatever your equation is, if you've got ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, it has to be there. It has to be equal to 0. And this, again, is our formula. You don't have to memorize it, but it does help. You go a whole lot faster than trying to figure out what it is. It's on your formula chart right here, but I want you to be able to remember it. Now, the way that we were doing it in class was with pop goes the weasel, and it goes with x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. As long as you know your A, B, and C, you can plug this in, and we're going to plug and chug into our calculator, and you'll have an answer. And you'll be like, why on earth was I not doing this before? Miss Samji, how could you? And that's the thing. Sometimes your factors, they won't work. Sometimes when you're completing the square for my pre-AP kiddos, it won't work. So this way is a surefire way to always work. So let's go ahead and open it up, and it's going to look like a lot, but it's okay. So let's try it out with something like this. This is not in standard form yet. We have to make sure it's equal to 0, and that it's an ax squared plus bx plus c. Remember, you need to know what standard form is, but if you forget, hey, look, it's on your formula chart. In order to do that, I'm going to get plus 20 so that I can zero this out. And I get x squared minus 12x plus 20 equals 0. Some of you are like, well, I don't want to use that long quadratic formula. I can automatically figure out my puzzle right now and put a 20 on top, a negative 12 on the bottom, and figure out that my factors are going to be x minus 2 and x minus 10 equals 0, giving me a solution set of x is equal to 2, positive 2, and positive 10 once I have solved for it. And that's all fine and dandy, but you'll see on the next couple of problems that we're going to need stuff for when we don't get integers as our answers. But let's double check and make sure that the quadratic formula works. So we're going to go ahead and drop this in. So we get an A value of 1. So I'm going to put a 1 in. Then I have my B value of negative 12. Notice everything is in parentheses, and that's going to be super, 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 super helpful for you. My C value is 20, so I'm going to drop that 20 in. And each of these numbers now get dropped in. So my B value is first, so I'm going to take my negative 12 and drop it in. I don't care that there's a negative out there already. Whatever's in the parentheses, we match it with everything on the inside. Your insides must match. There are no more B's left, but we do have some A's. So we're going to drop those A's in. Also going to drop my last one in, which is my C. I'm going to zoom out so you guys can actually see how we're going to plug it into our calculator. And these are the calculators that we're using, so we're going to go ahead and set it up as a fraction. And we're going to do alpha, y equals, and it pops up this menu, and you're going to click that first menu right there. Now we've set it up as a fraction. So we've got x equals negative b, and we're going to use our parentheses every time we substitute in our A, B, and C values. Then this is plus or minus. But if you look at our calculator, we don't have that button. That's not a thing because it's really just combining plus and minus as one. It's saying that you can write it in both. So we're going to go with plus first. Then we're going to do the square root, which is second, this blue button right here. And as soon as we click that blue button, it activates everything in blue right here. And I want that square root. And I'm going to type in everything like so. Parentheses, -12, close parentheses, squared, minus 4 parentheses, 1 parentheses. Oops, sorry, forgot it. So I'm going to go back and hit my parentheses, 20, close parentheses. Notice my line at the top keeps going. Do not hit right until we're done with this. In fact, don't even hit right, just hit down. And we're going to do 2 parentheses, 1 close parentheses. And it's a really long thing that we've typed in. That's okay. I want you to hit enter. And you're going to get 10. And you're like, but Miss Samji, I already knew it was going to be 10. That's cool. That's good. But you're not done yet. And I'm not going to make you type that in over again. There's this really quick hack on your calculator where you don't have to type everything that you just punched in. You're going to do second and then enter. And everything that you just had typed before pops right back up. The only thing you have to do is you have to scroll all the way back to before the square root and change that plus into a minus because we have plus or minus. Hit enter and you get 2, which are the exact 2 answers that we said they were going to be when we factored, which is one of our ways of solving. So really good job. So we just simplify and we get x equals 2 and 10 and we put it in our solution set. So thanks for handling that like a boss right there. So let's try example 2 now. This one's luckily already in standard form, but it's not set equal to 0. So what we're going to do is we're going to replace that y, and now we're going to write it as 0 equals 1.6x squared plus 2x plus 2.5. So take your values in, and I'm going to kind of go ahead and color code them this time. So this right here, that 1.6 is my A. Oops, told you I would color code and then I didn't. This 2 goes right here. And then I've got a 2.5 as my C. So everywhere there's a B, I'm going to drop in everything that's on the B. Take that 1.6, which is our A, put it in. And then our C value of 2.5. We're going to plug it into our calculator the same way that we just did. So we're going to go ahead and restart. We're going to do alpha y equals, enter, to set it up as our fraction, and then start typing away. Make sure you type it in correctly the first time. So negative, parentheses, 2, parentheses, and I just go with plus first. Second, x squared will get us that square root. So negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac. Hit down all over 2a. Hit enter. Uh-oh. It says non-real answer. Typically when you say that, when you see that, your calculator is saying this is a no. It's not an okay, but it's a no, which means we don't have a real answer. We don't have no real solution so far. Well, let's wait. Maybe it's a single root. So we'll be like, okay, let me go to it and go back. And instead of doing plus, let me go all the way back and do a minus. Well, turd nuggets. We get the same thing, which means that no matter if it's a plus or a minus, and we're going to get a non-real answer, this is no real solution. And what's really happening here is that it's never intersecting the x-axis. It looks like something like this. In fact, if I take this equation and plug it into my calculator, and I do 1.6x squared plus 2x plus 2.5, and I graph it, check that out. It would never intersect the x-axis. No matter how much I keep going, it's always going to keep going up there. So I'm going to zoom out even so you can see. And it kind of looks like that when we're there because we're so zoomed out, but it's never actually hitting 0. It gets close, but it never actually hits it. And that's okay. No solution is an answer. Another way that you're going to see this written is x equals, and then you write, it looks like a 0, but it's a circle with a line through it, and this means empty set. This is going back to when we were solving equations. Okay, let's go ahead and do this last one. 3x squared plus x equals 4. Not equal to 0 right now, so we're going to subtract the 4. And we get 3x squared plus x minus 4 equals 0. Now, if we were doing this factoring style, we would have to do my fat dog really moves, then figure out the factors, and we aren't about that life anymore. So we're going to just drop it in, make it 3, 1, negative 4. Drop your numbers in, 1, 1, 3, 3, and then that's a negative 4. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to quit out of that. And we're going to drop this into our calculator. So we get alpha y equals parentheses, negative parentheses 1 plus the square root of your b squared, and I'm using that squared button to kind of quicken things up, minus 4, 3 times negative 4, 4ac, all over 2a. Okay, I get a 1. That's nice. So far I've got a 1. And I didn't write it, I kind of scratched that out. I'm going to hold off, because I might get a number that's less than this when I subtract. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do 1 minus, and ooh, I got a fraction. So you can write your answer as negative 4/3, comma 1. You can do that. Or you can kind of convert this into a decimal. And the way you're going to do that is hit math, 2. And you can estimate it to x equals negative 1.3 or 1.3 repeating 1. Either or will work, and both of these are going to give you answers. I hope you enjoyed this review. Thanks for watching.